I can just hit go live, and maybe I got to take this thing out of the mouth. I got this like teeth guard thing. So you guys might be hearing that list, be like, what the fuck? Did Roy just get an even worse list overnight? The answer is no. I know a few folks were looking at gold longs this morning, as was I. So let's kind of go through all the pairs real quick. And then obviously, if you guys have any questions, Chart Addicts member, you guys are on the Zoom, please feel free to ask. Oh, whoa. All right, if you're watching this at home, my name is Roy Dunya. I am the co-founder of Chart Addicts. I'm a full-time day trader living here in Miami, Florida, and we host these live streams to bring quality education and free money to everybody. So what I do on these live streams is I literally just trade live in front of you. I call live market execution, and we watch it play out together. So there's no fluff, there's no bullshit. I will not try to sell you on a broker. Yes, we have the world's biggest Forex event, so you guys might hear about that throughout the stream. You guys might hear about our coaching program, but we don't do brokers, we don't do affiliate programs, none of that shit. The only two partners that we have, and I want to give a massive shout out to the partners before they kick us off, because I'm about to wild out on the stream today. Shout out to Binance and shout out to TradingView for sponsoring this stream. Just remember, you guys agreed to this. All right. So whatever happens on this stream, just remember you guys signed up for this. All right. Other than that, I mostly trade the NASDAQ 100 index. It's the top 100 technology stocks in the U.S. economy. These are U.S. equities. So they basically go off of sentiment and liquidity. A lot of money in the system, then we're going to start to see stocks go up. If there's a risk-off environment where people are not sure about what's going to happen next, there's a lot of political tension, there's a lot of geopolitical uncertainty, that's where everybody starts to go into safer investments. They get out of Bitcoin, they get out of stocks, and they go into the dollar, which is exactly where we're at right now. So magnet indicator still holding strong. That 103.682, when I see that magnet, it's not because it's like a gimmick, because the market is literally can't help itself like a crack addict. That 682 level, a little bit too accurate here. So what am I seeing for the dollar? I want to see one liquidity grab through this daily zone to push up for equal highs right here at the 104.5 region, and then come all the way back down. Not all the way back down. That's a little bit too vague. I want to see this. And because I am still bullish on the dollar, I think that we're going to end up forming a higher floor, but I can't guess that until the market actually does it. So for now, I'm anticipating the breakthrough and then to come back in, which means Euro USD, I'm expecting that breakthrough and then a push back in. Pretty straightforward here. Pretty straightforward. Let's look at the NASDAQ index. And of course, if you guys have any questions during the duration of this stream, please feel free to ask. Okay, break above structure, back above the daily zone. I want to look for a retest of 14,880. No rejection, no entry. Okay, price has to respect the zone. Price has to reject the zone. And then price has to retest the zone. I was talking to a good friend of mine, Natalia, a few days ago, and she got that 3R method. And I think that it was absolutely brilliant how she broke it down, because it's so easy to remember. Respect the zone, reject the zone, and retest the zone. I think it was absolutely, because when we look at the three-step confirmation, that's essentially what it is. The slowdown in volume, shift in momentum, and a higher low. It's essentially that RRR. It's respect, reject, and retest. So that's what I'm looking for at that zone, higher floor. And if we go into the smaller time frames, this trade is just as valid. So we have the 88.6 level right here on the higher time frames, potential entry. Okay, so let's look at the smaller time frame structure and see what we can find. This is our pre-session consolidation, correct? Meaning this is the low of the session. Not of the session, excuse me. This is the low of the day so far. So this is about 1 a.m. Eastern time, about an hour before London session open. Let me get this fluff out the way. Okay, so when we talk about multiple confluence strategies, when you have a higher time frame 88 on the flip side, and then you have a smaller time frame 88 at the same exact zone, two very, very, very high probability levels in a bullish market, price is broken above the buy zone, and now is just coming back to test this level again. You guys can see when price is above the yellow zone, it tested as support. We end up getting a buy. And then when the market retests the yellow zone as resistance, not quite here, but pretty close, we end up getting sell-offs. So if price is under the zone, typically we have a push to the downside. And if price breaks above, typically we have a continuation. So what we're watching here at this 88.6 is, yes, this is going to be the entry, but we're waiting for the confirmation of price to break above that. Yo, whoever not muted, come on, people. This is not our first rodeo. CA members, you guys know better. All right, retest. And then as soon as we have a break above that 15,000 level and a closure above, when you're looking at market structure, just always look left. This is not rocket science. Okay, this is a selling area right here. So the market could go all the way up here and still sell off. And so really, if you're in a buy position, the confirmation you're looking for is a break above these previous areas of interest. All right. So when you keep looking left, you'll start to notice that there's no coincidences. Every level that has been respected consistently in the past will very likely get respected in the future, because markets are a creature of habit. So then what do we see here on the left? There's a nice buy level right here. It's kind of like the market started to pull down, and then we have one rejection, two rejections, three rejections. When you look all the way through, this is about the same level that we're expecting the market to come down and tap. So if the market's bullish, it can just keep flipping up like this. But if there's a better area for the market to test, chances are it will test it. And the more you look, the more you start to realize there might be an even better level somewhere on the left. Look at, for example, I know this is a smaller time frame, but actually, let me do 4 hour here. Okay, so when we look at potential buy levels that the market is going to come back down to test and then continue pushing up like a floor, I see this right here. Okay, I see this wick right here. So these levels are going to attract a ton of buying interest, because historically, when the market was at that price, institutional traders saw this as a discount. They wanted to buy the NASDAQ at a cheaper price, and those were the levels that were the most liquid. You get there, and it's a quick turnaround. Get there, and it's an aggressive turnaround. Get here, aggressive turnaround. Get here, aggressive. So the market come down to this region. Now, what happens once we break through that region? Once we break through all of these potential buy areas, technically, we have one more down here, but I'm not really looking for an entry until 14,680. So for now, I'm looking at this potential buy area, this 14,950 sort of zone. Okay, so it goes from 900 up to about 950. There's a 50-point range here. And as long as the market rejects, respects, and then on the smaller time frame retests, I will take this buy entry, even though we're pretty high up in that trend. All right, do you guys have any questions, comments, concerns so far? We good? That zone on the DXY is gold. What's up, Sky Blue? Yeah, I've been calling that zone since about, I want to say December of last year. If you guys are watching this, please drop a like and subscribe so the algorithm boop whoop can do its thing and people can come on here. I want people to, I want everyone to know about these streams. Not on some like selfish shit, but I want that sense of accountability. I want the big traders in the space to be like, man, this guy's always running his mouth and posting screenshots of shit. Like, let's see if he's actually about it. And I want them to get on the stream and see me do this shit live, so they can hop back off the stream and be like, damn, how does he make it look so easy? I wish I could do that. Yeah, newsflash. This takes a different level of, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody can do this. Chart Addicts members, let me know scale of 1 to 10 how you guys are doing. Not in terms of how you feel, like, oh, 10 is happy and 0 is sad. No. How are you doing today, like in terms of your commitment to following your plan, in terms of your discipline to do what you need to do to succeed? Give me a 1 to 10, everybody. How are we doing today? Because if you're telling yourself, if you don't even want to answer the question, because you're like, I don't even feel like answering, that's a 0. A 10 is like you jumping off the seat. You can't wait to tell somebody how ready you are to be disciplined today. 0 to 10. Well, I guess 10 would actually be that ultimate peace, that real confidence of peace, of knowing exactly what you need to do and just not allowing any thoughts to interfere with what you know deep down to be the necessary actions for your success. I guess that would be a 10. All right, we got some 10s, we got some 8s. Let's go. We got some 7.89. Noah. That's wildly accurate, brother. You should have said 7.86 and just made a joke out of it. Vanessa, 8.5. I love to see it. B says 10. Gabe says 8. I love to see it, bro. Sam is on 100. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, now everyone, keep in mind, a break through these levels would invalidate the trade. A lot of new folks on the stream, you guys are going to understand the value of being flexible as a trader. When folks commit to a specific bias just because they don't want to look wrong or be wrong, and this applies to all of you as well. You're sitting at home by yourself. Maybe you don't even have an audience, but you're just like, you're scared about somebody thinking that you don't know what you're doing or thinking that you're wrong about a specific trade. Well, I'm here for the accountability, right? You don't play in front of an arena full of people because you're scared of what people might say about you. So one thing you guys are going to learn is that I'm incredibly humble when it comes to switching my bias if the market gives me new information. But while the market gives me all the information right now, I have a specific intention. My intention is to continue trading with the buying momentum by looking at this discounted price. If the market gives me different data, i.e., we don't respect, reject, and retest that zone, and we end up closing below these areas of structure, then what we'll most likely see is potentially a higher low entry for a push back down. The reason I'm buying is because the market is in a bullish trend on the higher timeframes. Okay, we've been on a bullish trend for the entire year since last October, and I just don't see the trend changing unless there's an emergency. Clearly, Jerome Powell, raising rates and insinuating that he'll continue to raise rates through September and through the rest of the year is kind of scaring the markets. But the markets are just pricing in something they all know to be true. There's a recession coming. They're all selling off stocks in anticipation of this recession. And in a few months, by November, the market will have understood that Jerome Powell will print if we need him to, and the markets will recover. So there is a chance that we hit a bear market for the next 2-3 months. But until I see the breaks of that structure, I'm not going to assume that we're going to have a bear market. I'm going to assume that the stock market will continue its trend because the trend is your friend until it ends. Which, as far as I'm concerned, it has not ended just yet. Okay. Gabe says he's at an 8.86. Now you're talking. Sky Blue says Roy's the G. Sky Blue, you're the G. All right, 10 out of 10 for the day. Love to see it. What's your view on crypto? We're in a weekly bearish counter trend. No, we're in a daily bearish counter trend. We're in a weekly bullish trend. Okay. And this is how you know that we're in a weekly trend, because trends have definitions. So if you see a series of higher floors and you see a series, okay, so we are making lower highs. This is the bearish momentum that you were talking about. So in October of last year, all the way through the beginning of, let's call it, through November of 2021, through about November of last year, we ended up having that retracement, this kind of bear market on the daily. And then what we've seen is we broke this level. Okay, so we formed new highs, broke this previous level. And so we've shifted that entire trend. Now, have we broken above this previous high yet? Not yet. And that's kind of what we're all waiting for, is that double top, bit of a pullback, and continuation. So as of right now, I feel like this is a pretty good place for us to be in terms of the continuation. And so how do we know if the market's reversing or not? Well, we have these areas of structure here. These are the local floors of this recent buy move. And until we start to violate these levels, the market is just doing a slight retracement before it continues. Completely valid. One last thing is I actually need to check this. Yeah, we did reject that 88.6. That was one of the best trades of the year. Had that push down, broke below this level. I think that we're going to push up for a double top rejection. Let's see if we get this double top here. So 15,800, that's kind of where I would like to see the market push back up to, about 1,000 points on the upside. Side note. Now, if we remove all the fluff here, because I know that there's a lot, you can see that we broke above this previous buy level here. And then we have this area of resistance that we've also straight violated through. So in my opinion, we were coming back down to revisit the 14,400 level before we continued. And this might still be possible. We might still come down to retest before we continue, but I am seeing support start to form here. So I'm taking my chances at the continuation. If it's not valid, it's not valid. We'll come back and check. Like if the market does break down bearish, then we have other levels that we can potentially buy from, aka the 14,400 level down here, right? And even a retest down here, 14,700. So plenty of buy opportunities. Because we had a break of structure, I'm trying this long position here if we hold. And yeah, it's basically about as simple as it can get. Not really looking at gold today. DXY continuing bullish. US 30, 34,000 entry, 34,060. So kind of like you want to see that higher low. So wait for price to break through that zone, break and retest. Once you have that retest at 34,050, that's the place you want to be. All right, very straightforward here on US 30. But of course, I'm going to keep my eye on NASDAQ because you got to keep your eye on the ball to avoid missing the trade. And so this is where we're going to just hang out here for a bit. All right. Yeah, no rejection, no entry. A little bit of patience goes a long, long way. So I'm actually adjusting my fib because this is from yesterday's session, but this is today's low. And if I'm going to look at this honestly and say, where's the swing low from today's market open? That would be London session low, and this would be the New York session high so far. So I've just redrawn my fib and realized that we did just hit the 88.6 fib. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a buy position here because I think that we're going to get a wick reaction. And if the market's bearish, then it'll break through. But until then, I genuinely believe that this is going to be the best price to go in. The stop loss will have to be a little generous because we got to make some room here in case price wants to sweep the lows. This puts us at about 60 points. Let me find some. So it's about a 4-to-1 from this current price. It's about a 4-to-1 from this current price. About 60 points of risk. So you guys can obviously do the risk management yourself. So every time I could enter this trade, it freezes up. Oh, damn it. All right, I'm in. I got a late ass entry, but better late than never, right? Maybe not. Maybe not in markets. All right. I got in at 942, so 14,942. Maybe a bit premature. All right, so like maybe we should have waited for the liquidity grab and break through. I did not put a full position, by the way. This is slightly less than half of what I would normally put. And the way I'm doing this is because I'm entering very high in a trend, and typically we don't trade breakouts. I know I told you guys this, unless specific criteria is met. But even still, this kind of doesn't, it's not my favorite thing to trade. So I'm going to put a third of my position right here, a third of my position on the test, like if it comes back in for one more time, and a third on the retest back up. You can split up your positions that way or just half and half. Half on the first touch, and then once price does the retest, half on the second touch. This kind of allows me to not expose myself to too much risk on a trade that's probably not the highest probability. So keep going, Roy. You're making history. But this is easy. What's your thoughts about this month's volume? To be honest, August is always like this, right? Summer, very dry. Everybody who made money early in the year ends up giving it all back in the summer. That's just how the markets work. So I've learned over the years that my job in the summer is not to get rich. My job in the summer is literally not to go broke. It's to not blow my accounts, not lose my funded challenges, because the market will not behave the way that I typically expect it to. And if you're not ready for that, you'll be holding trades way too long. You'll be over leveraging on certain trades, thinking it's the one and all this bullshit. So summertime, protect your chickens. Now that school's starting back up, the traders are back at work, the vacation homes are all getting put back on the markets, everybody's getting back to the offices. I think that now we're going to start to see a ton of volume come back in, especially in the fall. So the two markers for when the markets really start moving is Jackson Hole, the Jackson Hole Symposium, which is this Friday, and then the September Fed meeting. Typically, every year, those are the two catalysts that will drive the markets back, because we don't have a Fed meeting in August. So everyone's kind of just playing off the data that we've been dealing with the past 2-3 months. Once Jerome Powell steps back on the stage and gives us a sense of direction, he's going to have a huge impact on market sentiment. All right. All right, just as a side note, did anybody register for the August advanced coaching that has not received the email with the schedule for the live class? So we're doing a 9-day live class instead of you guys going through the course and the modules. I figured I'd do something special for those who signed up for this round. It's the first round of Chart Addicts 2.0. So I'm going to do a live guided boot camp for 9 days where you guys can ask as many questions as you'd like. And I'll be breaking down all the different concepts in the course. Now, of course, the course is it's great to know, but the coaching is the most important part. So the sooner that we can get through the education side, the sooner we can get to looking at your specific trading results and starting to make those improvements. Did anybody here not get that email?
I'm still waiting.
You guys can't see my screen, right? I'm just checking one thing. Josh, I did see that come in, and I was telling the team, because you said it on the call yesterday, I was like, this man, Josh, just slid right through that door. That door was closing down. It was 2 inches left, and you just came sliding right in. All right, so congratulations, Josh. You guys can't see my screen, right? Just checking. I got to check this email real quick, and I just want to make sure that I'm not exposing myself to any pertinent information.
You're good. You're good.
All right, good looks. Give me 1 sec here. If you guys use prop firms, let me know your take on which prop firms you guys like the most. And also, if you're a Chart Addicts member, post ACP, we're working with TradeZella right now to get everybody access to the platform for a discounted price. I know it's $60 a month. I think that is a little bit high in my opinion. So I did talk to the team over there to try to get us a special Chart Addicts sort of, a little deal for the love, show some love, So we'll be having that code coming out here pretty soon. Looking forward to sharing that with all of you guys. And if you don't know what TradeZella is, obviously it's because it's new. It's essentially a MyFX book competitor where everybody can track their performance results in one place. You can tie all your funded accounts to one place and just get a holistic view of your performance. So it's much cleaner, much smarter. And yeah, said the funded trader has been great. Good. To be honest, I had some issues with the funded trader. FTMO has been the best for me personally. I had a bunch of latency and slippage issues with the funded trader, but no harm, no foul. It is what it is. The thing about trading is it's all about personal responsibility. Even if your broker manipulates the shit out of your trades, what did you do about it? Like, what am I going to do about it? Cry about it? Stay with the broker? Stay quiet? Like, what is my course of action? So personal responsibility is everything. Obviously, I picked firms that were less reputable because they were offering something shiny, right? Big account, less restrictions. So go with the reputable companies. Pierce Crosby, the general manager of TradingView, said this at our conference when he spoke there. The premise of his speech was about offshore versus onshore brokerages. Let me take this fucking retainer up. Jesus. His entire speech was about onshore versus offshore. And he says the reputation of the company you're working with is the most important thing. The most reputable companies may not be able to offer you all the shiny stuff that you want. But what they're going to do is make sure your money is safe. Make sure they're running a proper sort of operation there. So yeah, sometimes FTMO doesn't have as big of account sizes or the leniency or 8% profit targets or lifetime this and that bullshit. But what they do have is that you're going to get paid out. So keep that in mind. What do you risk in a funded account, bro? Typically, I'll do 0.5%. And if I'm starting a challenge, I might do even less. Like, I genuinely believe that building a cushion in your funded account is one of the most, how do I call it? Like mind-easing things. Because eventually a challenge is supposed to be challenging. It's supposed to be consistently hard to do that over a long period of time to stay that disciplined. So ideally, what I try to do is put myself in the most advantageous position as I can. And that just means not blowing a big hole in the account at the beginning. And typically that involves going lower on the risk, building up that cushion, and then starting to hit the ground running once I see high probability setups start to form. All right, we're in some baby profits here. This is an FTMO swing account. So for some of you guys thinking this is a 50 lots on a traditional broker, this is not 50 lots on a traditional broker. This is probably closer to a 0.5 on your traditional broker, like a Hugo's way. So yeah, just keep that in mind for some of you guys out there being like, what the 100 lots on NAS? I'm getting there. Don't get me wrong. Floating about 780 right here. Let's just see if we can get this thing going. So we got a nice rejection. The entry was correct. Like the entry should have been at the 88.6. And look at how big of a difference this makes. Had I entered without hesitation here, it would have been a 5-to-1 R. So if I'm risking $1,000, or in this, yeah, if I'm risking $1,000, I'd be making $5,000 on this trade. Because I had a bit of a late entry waiting for a confirmation. Now it's just slightly less than 4-to-1. Isn't that crazy? Now, I do understand that we've broken back below this sell level with a bearish engulfing. And I do recognize that price tried to push above the zone and could not. So I do see this potentially going straight bearish, but what I want to see is a push to the upside. I'm going to protect this trade. If it comes back to hit, okay, no harm, no foul. If it continues, then we remain in profits. Yeah, somebody tell me there's a lag on YouTube. That's not cool. All right, so this is the part where patience comes in. There's two things that we can do here. Is number one is we can go through news. And number two, we can go through Forex education, or we can talk about what's happening in the economy or any of that stuff. You guys let me know what direction you want to take it. And yeah, because normally if I'm doing this by myself, which most trading days, I'm just here hanging out doing this by myself, I'll just have headphones in listening to a podcast. And then what I'll do is I'll be working on something. So maybe I'll be posting content here on YouTube, and then I'll just switch back over, check it periodically. If I really have a lot of important shit to do, I'll just set an alert. So I'll just add an alert right here. Okay, alert me. You can do every time or once. If you guys have the app, make sure that you notify in the app and you show a pop-up. I used to do send emails. This shit would just, there's too much. And then you just go ahead and create that alert. So if the market breaks to either side, so let's say if we break the lows, I want to know. Okay. I want to know. And then I also want to know if the market goes up to the upside and I'm in deep profits. Not deep profits, but let's just say at least a break of structure. So I'll put an alert at the top of this zone, kind of the break of that structure right here, 15K. And I'll put an alert on the downside in case there's a break of that low. Now, if I go about my business and I'm looking at a different screen, that's when I could just go back and, I can get alerted and I don't have to periodically check. Ferdinand says how to quit closing early. Okay. I mean, it's a great question, honestly. I have a very contrarian take on almost everything in trading. I think that most people are so focused on entries that they discount the most important two things, which is money management and trade management, and then exits. Okay. Here's something for you guys' notes. This might blow some of you guys' mind because you've been reading a little bit too many of these books and watching too many of these seminars. Risk management, or not risk management. Let me go. How do I phrase it? I want to say this in one straight shot. So let me phrase this correctly to avoid any confusion. Psychology in trading is most important when you have to close a trade. Entering a trade is infinitely easier than closing the trade. Entering the trade is really, really just a function of strategy. Do you understand your confirmations and your edge enough to enter the trade without hesitation? At some point, you develop that muscle, great. The real psychology is when you go to close a trade, that's when you're confronted with the hardest decisions. If you're naturally, I don't want to say ungrateful, how do I call it? Greedy. The naturally greedy folks are never going to feel like it's enough. You could close 100 pips, you can close 1,000 pips, you can close 20 pips, you can close 35 pips. It's never going to be enough. Now, folks who are scared, so i.e. you've lost a lot of money trading or in other places, you have a adverse relationship or an adversarial relationship with the markets, you just end up closing early because you just don't want to lose. Like this, the thought of losing is so bad, you cannot let your strategy play out. Those decisions are what make or break traders. Because maybe you're not going to have any struggles when you're deciding between to take $1,000 or $4,000. You're like, 1,000 is not going to change my life right now. And so I might as well hold for the 4,000. Now, what happens when it's 10,000 versus 40,000? All right. And then you conquer that. And then something I see coming up, which is like, what happens when I have to choose between a 100K trade and potentially holding it for 200-300K? Because when you don't need the money, it's a lot easier to make these kinds of decisions when the amount of money on the screen now like surpasses what you're associating the money with, your external circumstance. That's when it becomes really hard to make the choice. So then how do you make that choice? Essentially have a clear enough plan of action that clearly outlines the conditions to get in, and more importantly, the conditions to get out. Be consistent, and then start to build that muscle of like, fuck it. All right. The market keeps going 10 times more than what you expected. Great. Awesome. Don't give a fuck. I'm here to make my money and walk away. All right. Speaking of which, we just hit that sort of first resistance zone. What I'm going to do is actually protect this trade. So what I want to do is move my stop loss to break even. Because granted, the momentum is bearish. I am trading against that momentum. And so I just want to make sure that I'm being mindful of that risk. Now, I always want to walk away with with something from the markets because I have spent a considerable amount of time here and my time is valuable. So I know that I'll be cutting, if I cut half of this trade, which I'm about to, I will be getting in the way of the profits I could be making. But I don't make decisions just strictly based on upside. When you're a gambler or you're a beginner, you make decisions only on upside. Damn, but I'm missing out on this much money, or I could have made this much money. Real traders, risk managers, always look at the decisions based on risk management. Okay, so I'm up about $2,000. What's the risk of it reversing and just kind of going back to zero? Well, it's there. The risk is there. What's the risk of this turning into a loss? No longer a risk there because I moved my stops to break even. So there's an upside and downside decision to everything. For me, because the possibility of a reversal is present, what I want to do is make sure that I capture something to make this worthwhile and to make it sort of, worth my time. So I'm going to close half of the trade. I'm going to, my stop loss is already in break even. We got a really, really great entry. You guys let me know if you took this trade on YouTube or in the Chart Addicts chat. No, I'm gonna have some breakfast after. Yo, don't peep this entry. Come on now. Now I'm on Zoom, and then we got people here on YouTube. Sky Blue's a dub. Dude, they can see my screen. All of everything. Yeah. I'm telling you, bro. I'm trying to put my shit out there. You guys hear that sound? Or you guys probably can't hear that sound. All right, I get it. Yeah, sheesh. All right, let's see. Josh says Profit City, baby. Can you talk about the brick situation? Yes, sir. Speaking of apps, the Chart Addicts app is live, but we're still testing. Make sure that we have the functionality we need. I'm in. Let's go. All right, guys. Make sure you secure make sure you guys secure partial profits. Move stops to BE. Now we can all confidently say that we've walked away in profits today. Whatever happens from here is extra credit. If it does continue, which is awesome, don't get me wrong. I'd love to see the continuation from here. That's awesome. If it doesn't, so be it. We have a big news week coming up. Obviously, BRIC Summit is today. This is tentative, and there's not a lot of foreign news agencies that are there. So we're not going to get what I would consider the most accurate information. The thing about BRICS is they talk a lot. There's always rumor and there's always news, but I have my own theory about this. I told you guys, I'm contrary to just about everybody on a lot of topics. This BRICS thing, it's very concerning to have your biggest enemies teaming up. All right, this is gonna sound really arrogant. You guys remember when Drake said, y'all boys think y'all teaming up and scaring us. Y'all fucking hilarious. Y'all stay at the Sheridan. All that shit's embarrassing. That's basically how I feel about BRICS. It's like, y'all boys think y'all teaming up and scaring us? These countries, the cost of transitioning over from US as the global reserve currency is possible for China, South Africa, and India, because they're massive economies and they have enough population in those economies to transition. Every country that's in their satellite, all the African nations where everybody in the world gets their resources, every European country, every Asian country that cannot afford to transition over to a new currency overnight, because the 6 months or 12 months or 18 months that it would take to transition over would devastate their economy to the point of no return. That's why those countries won't move over, not because they love the predatory environment of the dollar standard, but if they think that the Chinese yuan, like the China having the global reserve currency, is going to be more democratic or more fair or more, everybody's losing their fucking minds. All right. So I understand that nobody likes to have a global leader dictating the pace of the play, but at least if you're going to have a global leader, you want them to be a benevolent one that at least has some kind of moral standing. You guys see the conversations in America versus the rest of the world. America's just very, very constantly talking about the shit we did wrong so that we could not do it again. And we're trying our best not to go around the world and conquer things. And, the whole Ukraine situation is getting attention because folks don't want another Vietnam. I think there's a sense of conscious awareness here. And so the likelihood that America continues to go around and colonialize through atrocities gets lower and lower. Now, these new countries that have kind of been ostracized for about 100 years.
You're not going to do that today.
The fuck? What? Oh, that was from Zoom. Thought I was playing a video. Lost my train of thought. All right, fuck it. So we have Fed Chair Powell speaking at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Friday, Jackson Hole Symposium. Tons of other things happen at Jackson Hole that I don't really care about. Same with the first day of Jackson Hole. So Fed Powell's speech at 10 a.m. I think is the most pertinent here. Weekly unemployment claims, nothing too crazy. What else do we have? Yeah, China's economy is also kind of in a bit of a standstill. So there's that. All right, ladies, gents, we're up about 60 points. Not sure what else we really need from this move. Obviously, you guys know the drill. Structure is very basic. Here's the previous structural high. If we violate the structural, like we close above the structural high, then there's a very good chance that we continue. So just see the retest and continue up. Hopefully you guys have already secured partial profits. I might secure just a bit more, shave some off the top just because my payout date is on the 30th coming up here pretty soon. I want to make sure that I'm locking in those wins and walking away, locking in those wins and walking away because yeah, I want that money. Said Roy's dropping bars today. We're back on the streams, man. Normally when I do these streams with you guys, I know it's early in the morning. I'm not going to talk about geopolitics at fucking 8 a.m. I get it, right? Take the fucking trade. Let's make some money. But I'm on the live stream right now, guys. We got company. We got guests. I'm trying to teach them something. You don't respect your risk and reward, my friend. I don't even know what that means. I don't respect you. I know that for sure. I don't know about what else you're talking about. Roy, you ain't a trader, bro. Okay. Ask your girlfriend, my dude. I see it filling the imbalance.
I can confirm that you're a trader, Roy.
I appreciate that. Thank you for the validation. But guys, I really don't need external validation. I know what fucking time it is. All right, ask my broker. They know. All right? Just ask them about the excuses they make in every fucking month. So I love the energy, these goofballs. Man, if I really wanted to talk my shit, man, I turned over a new leaf, people. He said he's raging. I don't know about raging. I just think you're a clown. US 30 legend. But I don't know what kind of legend is in my DM or is in my fucking chat. Kind of just, I don't know, cucking my stream. Like you watching other people make money and you over here just miserable. Like it just kind of sounds like a cuck. I don't know. You guys tell me, am I wrong? It's the same ailment that fucking that dude. Fuck, why did I forget his name? Who's the guy that let his girl bang the black dude? Fucking, it's the same kind of energy. I don't know. Just confusion. He said, appreciate the knowledge, and it was a pleasure meeting you at 2023. Shit, right back at you, bro. Hit us up in the DMs after this if if you see that. Let us know. I met so many people, guys. I recognize the faces for sure. The names, I'm gonna just tell you right now, went over my head. He said, you don't respect your trading plan. I mean, have I shown my trading plan this entire call? What do you guys think? The Chart Addicts members know exactly what my strategy is. Okay. You guys know that TP1 and TP2 both got hit. Right? Make no confusion. And make no confusion that TP2 got hit perfectly. Now, could price come back for one more take before we continue? For sure. Get break even hit, and then the price continues. Shit, I'll enter again. It is what it is. But this should be a lesson to everybody because some of you do not have an audience. And so you might have like imaginary haters, or you might have people that you're scared of, not scared, but like just kind of you care about their opinion. They're in your life or whatever it is. Take this lesson from me. All right. When I turn off this computer, this dude, whoever this legend, whatever, literally doesn't exist. It's like if I turn off my phone, it's literally irrelevant. It's obviously not going to make enough noise to, garner any sort of attention. So when you guys are worried about somebody else's opinion and how it's going to dictate your decisions on the charts and what you should or shouldn't do, and like, some of you guys would be in my shoes like, oh, shit, maybe I should have held so that everybody can think that I'm a real trader. But I walked away with money. I don't actually give a fuck about what anybody says except for Alicia from FTMO when that payment comes through. That's the only person's opinion I care about right now. You guys should be doing the same exact thing. The only people's opinion you should care about is your own. And then obviously Alicia. He said, you're an interviewer, not a trader. Okay. I mean, bro, look how irrelevant you are. Like, watch. As soon as I kick you off the stream, you can go back to being miserable somewhere else. And I'm going to go back to living my life. And hopefully you can go and reflect. And I'm not really trying to say this to be disrespectful. There's a time in my life where I really would be doing this out of disrespect. I'm just doing this because I care about you, bro. And I genuinely feel like you're coming from a place of self-hatred or misery. And I'm praying for you. And I want you to be as strong as you possibly can. I want you to go and reflect on whether or not this was something that you're proud of. This is something that you actually stand by. And if not, then, it is what it is. Said message deleted. Yes, sir. That's what I like to see. That's called that's not even called accountability. Running away is not accountability, folks. You just got to be like, hey, man, yeah, I fucked up. You know, I was just coming from a place from negativity. My B shouldn't have brought it on the stream. Let's keep it rolling. That's cool. All right, that's called maturity. You try to press me, people, I swear to you, this is not going to end the way that you want. He mad he didn't take the trade. All he got to do now is talk shit. Or I mean, knowing some of these people, they probably traded against me. Like, I love when people trade against me because you guys see the rejection here, right? So there's a very good chance that this thing then ends up crumbling. And then, you know, people on social media will be like, oh, see, I told you, I was in the stream, And I'll be like, okay, post your results. Right? They didn't even take the fucking trade. Or they lost money because they entered too early, they still lost. I don't give a fuck about being right or wrong. I'm very happy to be wrong about this continuation because I already made my money. I am done for the day. Everything from here on out is extra credit. That's trading. All right. By the time that all the retail traders are still contemplating the 15th confirmation, by the time some of these beginner traders are still second guessing their you know, this, that, and the fifth, we're already done with the move. So your job is not to be right. Your job is to make money. And I sure as fuck don't don't care about what anybody says about my strategy. It is what it is. Said he was in sells. Good. I had a 3-week losing streak when we were doing the streams last year and folks started trading against my position. That was the happiest I've ever been. Because I know that my losing streaks, they come in streaks back to back. I was like, as soon as this losing streak is done, I'm going to hit 10, 15 winners in a row. Back to back to back. And so I just started to basically like try to piss off all the haters and be like, you guys won't trade against me. You guys won't do it. You guys won't do it. And they just started to like open accounts and trade against me. And it was like, I think 2 weeks later, they were broke. Probably the happiest time of my life. I am petty. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm not fucking Mother Teresa. I don't know if you guys think I'm your, I'm not your fucking dad. All right. I'm a very petty guy, but I also believe in some sort of standards. I also believe in personal accountability. Said shout out to Alicia. Yeah. Said Logan Paul. Oh shit. Yo. So I just got hit to the whole Logan Paul situation this morning with Dylan Dennis. And the funniest shit ever. He said Adam 22. Oh, that's his name. Motherfucker. I don't even know what we were talking about at this point. Shout out to Alicia. Yeah, that's my true love. All right, guys. One last thing before you hop off this stream, because we are going to head off here. I'm going to be talking about news for another probably 10, 15 minutes. Maybe some stuff about the industry, maybe expose a few things here. So I'll be here for probably another 10, 15 minutes. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit like. And if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so that you guys can get notified. I'll be live streaming every single day this week. All right. Tuesdays are usually my worst trading days. So I'm actually excited for tomorrow, excited for Thursday. You guys don't want to miss out. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you guys are aware of when we start streaming this week. Come make some money with us. I actually see myself down to the area you saw to buy at. Both produced profits depending on how they were traded. Love to see how you trail. Estes Trading, bro. Bro, why is your name so familiar? Do I know you from IG or do I know you from YouTube? My name is so familiar. Did anyone take the gold buys at 1893? I'm pretty sure that's what I said this morning.
I took them at 1889.
89. Oh, damn. Good for you. Talk about a sniper entry. And also, people, come on. We called this shit since this morning. This is actually, I'm pretty sure I called it last night. But okay, yeah, I said look at 1893 for the short-term buys. That was about 8:40 a.m. Bit of an early entry here. But this one was pretty straightforward. That's a massive wick. So this is the 4 hour, right? We got an hour and a half or almost 2 hours before this candle closes. If this candle closes with this wick, it closes bullish. and it closes above the 61 and the 78, ideally I want to see a closure above both. Like I want it to close up here. But even a closure above the 61 would kind of give me that confidence to go long. All right, so we already have that nice shift in momentum. We got a bullish closure here above the previous high. And then we have this liquidity grab back inside the range and a bullish closure. If we have all of those elements, so we have the slowdown in momentum, shift in momentum, and higher low, that's where I'll be looking for that continuation. So any closure above 1895, I think it would be a pretty good opportunity to go long. If the market is stuck here, I think one more liquidity grab through that zone might be a better entry. So you could probably save yourself 10, 15 points, but just ask yourself if that's worth missing the trade. Lower your lot size, keep your risk below the wick. And I think that you guys will have a pretty good chance here with the upside on gold. All right, everybody. Let's talk about one last thing. The state of the economy today, and that's going to be my last piece. All right, if you guys enjoyed this, again, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Catch you guys here in a sec. Oh yeah, reminder, FX Summit Dubai next year, mid-November 2024. We're hosting our 3rd annual conference in Dubai. Now, I know a lot of folks are kind of concerned about the trip to Dubai, especially if you want to bring family. I understand that it's a bit more expensive than flying to Miami, and that's why we wanted to give everyone a long enough time to prep. From now to November of next year is a long time, not only to get off work, not only to see your schedule and block off the date, not only to get the money together, like really make a plan and without it sort of being a big deal. But also, we're for the people. So I have a cheat code for you guys. Do not miss out on this. If you guys get any of these t-shirts, all right, the Chart Addicts t-shirt, the tank top, or the FX Summit t-shirt, you get 50% off all FX Summit tickets. Be like, Roy, that doesn't make any sense. If I buy $100 shirt and I go buy a general admission ticket, which is $400, you're telling me I get to save $200 on that ticket? It's half off. Like, why wouldn't I just buy the t-shirt and then get the 50%? Exactly. So this is our way to kind of create a workaround for some folks that really, really want to come, that may not have the means, but maybe if there was a better opportunity, you guys would be able to come. And that's what we're trying to do. Make this as open as possible. Make sure that folks can get out there. And it's simple as that. Get a t-shirt, send us a picture, get your 50% off. It can't get any easier than that. Let's talk about fundamental state of the economy and what Jerome Powell might say. When I look at any fundamental event, if it's CPI, NFP, if it's unemployment, any of these key like FOMC meetings, I always try to create 2 most likely outcomes, and I try to figure out what I need to hear from Jerome Powell or what data I need to see to confirm either of these. So the 2 camps that we have today, well, this one's tough actually because there's 3 camps. This is actually a pretty rare occasion where there really does need to be 3 camps. The first camp is higher for longer. I'm just going to say HL. Higher for longer means we're at 5.5% for the federal funds rate. And we're very likely to just keep that rate for the rest of the year and see if that brings inflation down. This is actually the camp that I was in up until the last inflation print. The effect that this would have on the market is actually bullish for stocks, and it could be short-term bearish for the dollar. Why would a high interest rate for longer even be bullish for stocks? Isn't that going to cause a recession? The answer is yes, but because it's predictable. And markets love predictability more than they love positive news. Okay? If I know what to expect for the next 6-7 months, I can put my money where I need to make money, like to make a return. If I don't know what's going to happen, the predictability or the unpredictability is too risky for my firm. And so what I'll do is I'll just end up putting all my money in safe havens until the dust settles. So predictability, major factor for the markets. The second camp is that he's going to pivot, meaning start to reverse his aggressive policy, and the Fed will start to kind of lighten the mood at the party, which means introducing more money in the economy, lowering interest rates to stimulate demand. This would be the worst fucking idea ever right now. This would lead to a massive resurgence in inflation. This would make demand go through the roof, people buying stuff, and so it's going to make everything more expensive. So the pivot is by far the worst idea, and the chances of them pivoting in this is like about 1%. All right, I'll assign a probability to each of these scenarios. The higher for longer, right now I'd put it about 40%. And then the rate hikes, which is another potential rate hike, right? In case you guys don't know the full story, we were expecting only 2 rate hikes in 2023. Now we're probably, I forgot what the number was. We're like 6 rate hikes or 7 rate hikes deep. We're at 5.5% interest rates, the largest increase in a short amount of time in Fed history. And everybody kind of started to think that was the last rate hike. And that's why we've had bullish markets all year, despite the Fed raising rates, because everyone's like, okay, we're going to have this many, then we're done, predictable, good to go. I think the market just broke through and hit our break even. Oh no, it's pretty close. Jerome Powell might indicate he's going to raise interest rates again in the September Fed meeting, which is in 2 weeks. If he raises interest rates one more time, the market is not ready for that. Now, I think the sell-off that we've been seeing, someone mentioned that we're weekly bearish. The sell-off we've been seeing is in anticipation of him actually raising rates in September. So I think the market is getting it out of its system. Okay, there's a high chance he's going to raise rates. Let me dump my stocks now, get ahead of the whole curve. And I think that when he actually does raise rates, or if he raises rates, we're going to see a recovery in stocks. This is what I said earlier. Like, I'm going to keep trying to buy the stock market because the stock market is bullish until it breaks structure. But we might be bearish until that Fed meeting. That's what the market is really, really waiting for. Some clarity about whether or not the Fed's going to continue this aggressive policy, or they're going to turn around, get the party started, pump money into the markets, make stocks go up, make crypto go up. We're all waiting to see. So the way that I see this whole thing playing out, everyone's asking me, Roy, which one of these 3 buckets? And I say all 3. Okay, they're going to happen one by one. Right now, we're in the higher for longer. That's the environment that we're all predicting. That's why stocks have been going up. I think we're about to shift into the possibility of one more rate hike, depending on the next CPI print. Okay, so then this comes next. When they raise rates again, this is going to spiral the economy into a recession. Guaranteed. I was expecting a recession Q2, Q3 of next year. Maybe it gets pushed forward to about Q1 of next year. Sooner than we thought, recession right around the corner. What happens in a recession is the Fed is going to be forced to pivot, and they will print the money and lower the interest rates. At that point, everything has already recovered. Stock market is bullish. Dollar goes bearish for a bit, and the world is back in harmony. Does this make sense to everybody? This is a full picture. If it doesn't make sense, I understand. Not the end of the world, but what month of next year is the FX Summit? It's in the middle of November. We're aiming for the dates that we want, but you guys got to understand, dealing in a country that you're not from, that you don't have any like real ties with, is a little bit tough. We're telling them we want these dates, and they're like, we don't care what you want. Like, here's the dates that we have. Here's what we need from you. And so we're kind of at the whims of that situation. But just know that we're working overtime for y'all to make this conference more accessible, 100% more accessible, and then twice as valuable. I know every year, I know some of you guys have gone 2 years in a row, and maybe you guys can speak to this in the chat just so everybody else can have some context. But year 1, we had no idea what we were doing. All we knew was that we were trying to provide as much value as possible. We didn't want people showing up to the conference and being like, yeah, that was a massive marketing conference or whatever. Like, I wanted people to leave saying, damn, I got this notebook full of notes. Granted, there was a few people I didn't necessarily agree with, but I have so much information here. I can go back for the next 12 months and put these into action and change my life. And I think that that's what we did the first year. Second year, I think we took it up 3-4 notches, created an opportunity and environments for you to connect with those speakers through the expo, through the VIP events. And those conversations, I feel like, are the most valuable. They're priceless. In an elevator with a Q Banks, and you just ask them 1 or 2 questions, and then, that was the exact thing that you needed at the time. Those things just don't leave your memory. Right? You watch a Mark Douglas video, he says, be disciplined, and you forgot that shit 15 minutes later. There is a value to doing these things in person. So I love the summit. Massive, massive growth. Looking forward to doing it again. I missed out on the summit this year, but we'll be giving it my all to see you in Dubai. My older brother had told you about me, and I love the knowledge you dropped. My name is Pedro, and I'm Ricardo. No, his name was Pedro, and I'm Ricardo. Well, Pedro, Ricardo, seeing 2 brothers motivated to go get that money, seeing 2 brothers motivated towards personal success and gravitating towards the right information, it warms my heart. I live with my brother. We're the exact same way. We're gravitating towards productive environments all the time. And so, yeah, bro, curate that as much as you can. There's going to be a lot of people in your surroundings that may or may not understand the level of, dedication you guys have towards that pursuit. But both of you, hopefully, if y'all stick with each other, you both will. And that's about as good of a thing as you can hope for. And if you guys don't have that physical or that blood relative that occupies that sort of space, your friends can become better family members than those people if you really don't have anyone in your life. So there's always people in your life that will celebrate your success. And there's always those that will see it as a mirror to their own failure. And those are the most detrimental and most dangerous people to your success. Somebody who, every time they see you win, they see it as a reflection of how much they didn't do. Somebody, wow, how the fuck you upset about shit you did, work you didn't do? How the fuck is that even possible? Like those people will definitely hold you back, especially in trading, because this is something that nobody can understand unless you're actually in this game. Like, how the fuck are you so distressed over staring at your phone? Get off your phone. Like those kinds of people. Right now, obviously, your significant other probably doesn't know what the fuck going on the charts. I get it, right? But environment is way more important than any of these mindset tricks, psychology. I don't care how strong you are mentally. If you're in a shit environment, it's going to be very hard to make it out. Very few people make it out of those kinds of environments and go become that success story. But the people that leave that environment as soon as they get a chance, they make some money there, whatever, as soon as they get a chance to move, they do. Those are the people that start to level up in a crazy way, because you're taking your experience, that courage that you've built growing up in an environment where you had to figure shit out, where it wasn't handed to you, but then you get to change that to where your standards of living are way higher. I'm talking about standards of living like you got a bigger apartment. I just mean like what you settle for, where you're willing to eat at night, what you're willing to put in your body, what you're willing to present yourself as, the clothes you wear. Your environment is everything. You're like, oh, well, once I get some money, I'll start dressing better. Once I get some money, I'll start hanging out with better people. Once I get some money, I'll start going to those restaurants. Once I get some money, I'll start listening to art, music, all this other shit. You are not going to get the fucking money. You can't sit in front of the fireplace and be like, all right, give me some heat and I'll feed you the wood. All right. I took that from Jim Rohn. Say it's foolish. Foolish is the man that sits in front of the fire and says, give me warmth and I will feed you wood. Can't do that. You got to change your environment first, change the way you dress, change the way you talk, change the way you act, change the content that you pay attention to, the shit you're listening to. Now, all of a sudden, you start getting closer and closer to the things that you want, not because you're way more disciplined and you're doing ice baths and shit. Nothing against ice baths. But because the environment that you're around, like let's say that you're a smoker, you get around people who just don't smoke. Like smoking is the worst thing in the world. But you're just not going to smoke that week or those 2 weeks. Everybody around you is like, what? You smoke? Bro, that's fucking crazy. They're looking at you like you got 3 heads. It's absolutely abnormal for them to even conceive the things that you're doing. So imagine you're an over trader or over leverager, or you're just like a not a confident trader. Okay. And you're around not confident people all day, every day, in every aspect of your life, because they confirm that sort of belief about yourself. Then you come to Chart Addicts, you get around a ton of confident traders who are clear about their intentions, traders who have a clearly defined edge and system that they abide by. Now, when you're in the group chat, like, ha, 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 I just blew my other account, LOL, it was my fault, I didn't set a stop, LOL. Now, your other group chat, people, you might have had 20 people with sympathy. Oh, bro, it's okay, you're going to get it back, Not here. They're going to look at you like, what the fuck are you laughing about? How the hell is blowing your account funny? How is that even remotely funny to you? It's like, oh, well, sometimes I just laugh, especially when I'm uncomfortable. All right, well, you better stop fucking laughing and try to figure out what just happened. That level of accountability sets the standard so high. You don't need to be Mahatma Gandhi to make change. You just have to have people that will hold you to a higher standard because they know you can do better. When people don't hold you to a higher standard, you want to know what that says? They don't believe that you can do better. Real deal. A lot of traders lose because they're so worried about the opinions of people that are genuinely detrimental to them. Worry about the opinions of people that actually matter. Like, if I wouldn't take advice from somebody, I wouldn't take criticism from them. And I don't take advice from anyone whose life I don't want. All right? Not trying to shit on the dude, but like the guy who was in the group, who was in the chats earlier. Would I want that guy's life? be in a live chat instead of making money. I'm trying to call somebody out, be negative, whatever. Fuck no. So I wouldn't take his advice. So if I wouldn't take his advice, why the fuck would I take any criticisms? It's the same shit. It's like I don't like it's not. This is not valuable information to me. Yeah. All right, folks. This is starting to get a little slow here. Recording's officially stopped. Before everybody heads out, please hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. About to head out of here. See you guys tomorrow morning, 10:15 a.m. Eastern time, 10:15 a.m. Eastern time. I'll show you that we'll do this daily. I'll show you the same strategy daily. You guys get the drill. Don't forget to grab your t-shirts to get 50% off the FX Summit. Send us a picture, you get your 50% off. The tickets are transferable, but it's only for 60 days. So the offer is 60 days and it applies to all tickets. All right. If somebody made it to the very end of the stream, which I appreciate y'all that did, you just heard that right. All tickets, not just general admission. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Bada boom, bada bing. He said if the previous candle closes above this one, then it's bullish. Yes, that's the definition of a bullish trend, my friend. If we break structure, it's bullish. It has not broken the structure yet. We still have that higher low, which I think is what you were referring to, which is cool. But personally, I don't try to guess. The market can come down here and kick me out of my trade, or it can continue. I accept both. I am ready to lose the potential money that I could have made. I am more than ready. And I am also ready to watch this thing run to the rest of my target. I've accepted both outcomes rationally. I've accepted the possibility of both and the expectation of both. And now I'm comfortable walking away and going about my day. All right, y'all. FX Summit 2024 for tickets. See you guys later. Happy and safe trading. Peace.